Have you guys ever wondered how to do that cool reddish glow effect that Chaos guys have behind their heads, like Horus and Abaddon? That's exactly what we are going to do in this video.
Hey guys, I'm Zoltan and you're watching Phalanx Miniatures. As a first step, I simply painted everything burnt red. That includes the head and everything around it. And I was using the airbrush for this because I was already airbrushing the miniature, but honestly, this would be better done with a brush. Just make sure that everything is fully covered with the red, and then anything that sticks out of the head, any other elements, can be blocked out with black. After that, it's time to apply highlights to the red because we want to make it look like it's glowing. The way I did it here is that I covered most of it in this new highlight color, and then as I am going up with the brightness, I'm going to only highlight the areas that are closer and closer to the viewer, so further and further from the back of the head. And the color choice is pretty important here because red is notoriously difficult to highlight. If you use some warmer colors with some orange in them to highlight, you are going to end up with something that is more like orange rather than red. And if you start adding whites to the color to brighten it up, then you might end up with something that looks more like pink. One more thing to look out for is to not only highlight the stuff around the head, but also highlight the head itself.
Once the red glow effect is done around and on the head itself, it's time to put some skin colors on this guy.
And normally our deepest shadow color would be close to black, but this time we are going to use the red for this. So I'm going to be mixing that red into my normal skin color that is going to serve as my midtone. It is very important to maintain that red in the shadow areas of the head, so make sure that you don't cover everything with this color. To make the effect even more pronounced, I'm going to use a little trick. I'll highlight his face in a way that the left side of his face, well, it's actually his right, but from our perspective, the left, is going to be the one that is hit by the lights, and everything that is on the other side is in shadow.
This will be cool for two different reasons. First of all, it will allow us to create some really nice contrast between the two halves of the face. And also because of this other half being in the shadows, you will be able to show off the red highlights or the red shadows, depending on how you want to look at it, way more.
After this, I'm just going to highlight his face kind of normally, as you would any other face, really, but mostly concentrating on this right side of his face. And once I reach the highest highlight, which I only apply really on the right side on the upper facing surfaces, he looks cool, but he doesn't have the red glow as much as I would want him to. So to bring back the glow to his face, which is somewhat lost because of the highlighting, I'm using the same red colors that I use for the glow to glaze in the shadows on his face. So everything that points down that should be in shadow should now be glazed in with red. This includes his jaws, his cheekbones, his brows. All of these usually should be dark or black, but this time they should be red. You can also include some reverse edge highlights. So instead from the top, you are highlighting the edge from the bottom. You can even just turn the model on its head and start highlighting like that if you want. And if you go a little bit too far with the glazes like I did, then you can just use the previous highlight colors to bring back the original highlights.
And with that, the skin is actually done, and all I needed to do was paint in all the remaining elements of the face, which is the mask and also the eyes.
And the end result looks like this.
Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you guys liked it and maybe found even something useful that you can utilize in your next projects. If you did like it, please consider giving it a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you very much and see you in the next one.